Hi, fourth graders. Welcome to Ready, Set, Read. My name is Miss Graves, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Over the next few weeks, we are going to be learning about rocks and minerals. In today's episode, we're going to kick off new learning, explore new vocabulary, and take a look at our first text together. I'm so excited to be here with you and explore this new way of learning. But before we get started, let's make sure you have all of the materials necessary to be successful on our lesson today. You will need your Week 4 Distance Learning Packet, a pencil, and some scratch paper. I'll give you a few seconds to get those things together. Are you ready? Did you gather your materials? Good. Today, we will begin researching about rocks and minerals in order to learn what rocks and minerals are and how they are alike and how they're different. We will start our study of rocks and minerals now, and we'll get to learning even more in the next couple of weeks. To begin our exploration of rocks and minerals, we're going to learn what geologists are. Have you ever heard of a geologist? Well, geologists are people who study the earth and what it is made out of, like rocks, minerals, and fossils that you see here on the slide. Let's read the first chapter of Geology, the study of rocks by Susan H. Gray to learn more about geologists. Follow along as I read aloud. Studying the earth. Have you ever wondered about the earth you stand on every day? Some places are rugged, with mountains reaching above the clouds. Others are flat, as far as the eye can see. Deep canyons cut out through the land. Winding caves create mazes far below the surface. How and why are these things created? What exactly is the earth made of? Geologists ask questions like this every day. The many sides of geology. Some geologists study the materials that make up the earth. They learn about the thousands of materials found on the planet and how they are made. Some study the fossils that appear in rocks. Other geologists look at major structures on the Earth's surface, such as mountains, plains, and riverbeds. They figure out how rain can wear down a mountain and how solid materials wash into the ocean. Some geologists even study how these processes might work on other planets. Seismologists and volcanologists watch for rapid changes in the earth. Seismologists keep track of earthquakes to learn why and how they occur. Volcanologists study volcanoes to understand what makes volcanoes erupt. Some geologists look for energy sources. These include oil, natural gas, coal, and areas with geothermal activity. The geologists look for areas where the rocks are strong and solid. They tell builders that these are the safest places to construct bridges, roads, and buildings. Now that you know that a geologist studies rocks and minerals, let's think about what we already know about rocks and minerals and what we want to learn about them. In your packet, you will find a KWL chart to show this. Let me show you how I filled out mine, and then you will fill out yours. So what do I already know about rocks and minerals? Well, I know rocks and minerals come from the earth. So I'm going to write that down in the K column, showing that it's something I know. I also know that rocks come in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. So I'm going to write that down too. One thing I wonder about is how rocks are made. So I'm going to write that question in the W column of the chart. Now it's your turn. Write down what you already know about rocks and minerals and what you wonder or want to learn about them. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that right now. Think about the times you've been out on the playground at recess, or the time that you were walking along the side of on the sidewalk and you just happened to pick up a rock. What did you notice? What did you wonder about that rock? You have 2 minutes. Go for it. All right. I'm so glad you started filling out your KWL chart. Thinking about what we already know and what we wonder about a topic before we dive into it is a great way to get our brains ready to learn something new. Throughout the unit, add interesting facts you learn about rocks and minerals to the L column in the KWL chart. Now, let's learn some new vocabulary words that we will need to know as we read about rocks and minerals. For each word, I will show you a word, its definition, and a picture. Then you will use the word in a sentence to show your understanding of its meaning. Let's get ready. Turn to the vocabulary chart in your packet. I'll walk you through an example. Are you at your vocabulary chart? Good. Put a thumb up if you are familiar with this word. The word is geologist. If you know that word, put a thumb up. The definition is a person who studies the earth and what it is made of. The picture is right here. The sentence that I used was, Savion wanted to be a geologist so he could study how earthquakes and volcanoes affect the earth. Now I'm going to read the rest of the words and their definitions out loud, but then you will use the word in a sentence. We'll go one at a time. The word is mineral. Say mineral. Put a thumb up if you already know, if you're already familiar with this word. Good. The definition is a solid that is formed in the earth and is made of one type of element. The picture is right here. Now, use the word mineral in a sentence and write your sentence right there in the chart on your packet. Great job. The next word or word phrase is depend on. Depend on. Can you say depend on? Give me another thumb up if you already understand what the phrase depend on means. The definition of depend on is to rely on or need. The picture is right here. A tree depends on water to live is the example. And now it's your turn. Go ahead and use the word phrase depend on in a sentence. Great job. The next word is element. Say the word element. Good. Put a thumb up if you know or are familiar with the word element. The definition of the word element is one of the basic substances that are made of only one kind of atom. The picture shows a pot made of copper. The next word is atom. Say the word atom. But not like somebody named Adam, but this is a different type of atom. The word atom in this case means the smallest particle of a substance that can exist by itself. And the picture shows a little atom that is made of copper. Copper is an element made up of copper atoms only. And that's why you see that copper pot up top. So the little atom is just a tiny piece of the copper pot. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and write a sentence for the words element and atom. And I will give you 2 minutes to do that before we start to preview our text. Okay, are you finished with your vocabulary? Great job. Now let's get ready to dive into our text. The new words we just learned are definitely going to help you better understand the text we read this week. So, what are we reading this week? Well, let's take a look. Can you read the title out loud? And the title of the text is right here. Yes, that's right. Great job. The title of this text is Rocks, Minerals, and Soil, and it was written by Susan Meredith. This week, you will be reading the first chapter, which will provide you with background knowledge on rocks and minerals, but also think about what you already know about rocks and minerals. I'm sure that you can tell me something that you already know from your own experience of going outside and playing with your friends, and just exploring outside. So for the next 2 days, you will read the text very closely and answer the text-dependent questions along the way. As you read, I want you to think about what rocks and minerals are and how they are alike and how they are different, or how they're similar and how they are different. At the end of this week, you will write an essay that describes what rocks and minerals are and how they are similar and how they're different. But before we read the book, let's use one of our good reader strategies, which is to preview the book. And that means to just look through the book real quickly. And as we preview the book, I want you to pay attention to all of the text features, because text features definitely help us understand the text better. So as you just flip through the pages and explore the book, pay attention to the headers, the photos, the captions, and any other text features you might find. Let's start. All right, fourth graders, preview the heading, preview the photo, and preview the caption. What do you think it's going to tell us about what we're going to read this week? On this page, fourth graders, what do you see? Which text features do you see? Well, I see the picture. I also see labels. And labels are great because they also help us understand the text. And then there's a caption down here. What do these text features tell us about what you're getting ready to read? See, you haven't even read the text yet, and you probably already have a good idea of what the main idea is. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, another heading, which is right here. Some more pictures down below. And think about, what do they tell you about the text that we're getting ready to read? Oh, wow. I really like this photo or this picture. It is giving me a lot of information about rocks and minerals. But we're only doing a preview, so I can't wait to see what this picture is all about. On this page, I see a word in bold print right there. And I know that bold print is a text feature that authors use to let me know that something is important and it wants to draw my eye to whatever is in bold print. And in this case, that word is elements. That was so helpful. Just by previewing the text, I already have an idea of what I'm going to be learning about when I read the text more closely tomorrow. By reading chapter 1, I learned about what is in the earth, or Earth's ingredients, as well as what rocks and minerals are. I am so glad you previewed the text and got an idea of what it will be about before you read it at home tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today, fourth graders. I'll see you later on this week when you are ready to start writing in response to what you read about rocks and minerals. And remember, fourth graders, rock. Get it? Fourth graders rock, because we're studying about rocks and minerals. I know that was kind of corny, but hey, I had to say it. But it's true. Fourth graders do rock. So I will see you later on this week. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the book, and we'll talk about it later on. Bye.